39.87 seconds, Baes Boyz podcast. Coming to you live.
Well, the bot's doing my job so well now I don't have to do it.
You don't even need to be here.
That's right. Just replace me with another AI so I can get on the road.
There you go.
For
Two
the tour.
AIs controlling everything.
That'd be perfect.
And then one...
Nothing bad could happen.
No, nothing bad could happen.
Absolutely
from that.
nothing.
Right.
Nothing. We'll call it the T1000 show.
If I'm not mistaken, isn't 2025 the year that the guy found that piece of the tech in the Terminator movie?
Oh, God. Is it?
I think it is. Found that piece of alien tech.
I'm fine, dude. As long as I get to fire off a couple mags before he gets me, I'm good with that. Like, it's a T1000, bro. We're not going to outrun it at this point. I wasn't going to outrun it when we were at our best prime running, so it doesn't matter. You know,
Right.
like, you don't try to outrun the Panther, right?
They already got the robotic dogs out there with police departments.
You hear about what Kawasaki just dropped? The rideable first robot.
Do you know how bad that would hurt?
If what, he decides to reach up and rip your leg off?
No, I just been watching videos of the...
Galloping up and down with your balls smashing on it and shit?
You think riding a horse... At least a horse is made of, like, flesh and bone, right? That's all metal.
Dude. That horse is so hard on top. You know that.
It can't be worse.
I feel like it'd be the only difference...
It can't be as bad as riding on the back of a steel robot.
I don't know, man. I feel like the only difference would be the edges are rounded. That's it, right? I mean, the horse is like 2,000 pounds of pure muscle. So you're just sitting on this rock, you know what I mean? That's bouncing up and down.
You're telling me a steel frame would feel that moves the same as a horse or worse.
I'm saying none of them are going to feel good because you got to put the saddle on. So if you're riding a saddle, saddles are hard as fuck. Those are horrible.
I don't know. I watched the video and I'm like, nah.
Listen,
I'm out.
if you've ever listened to our first episodes, you'll know that Joe Skelly's horse riding isn't that good. Number one. Number two, if I remember correctly, you had the horse that didn't even go forward. So
I had the horse that tried to kill me.
Yeah,
it wasn't even a horse.
I'm gonna buy you a horse and name it Buttercup and give it to you.
Don't.
You're gonna show up one day and it'll be right in your hood, just chilling.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'll get all your friends down there, so they'll be having a barbecue and be like, "What?" You'll show up, be like, "What's this fucking horse?" They'll be like, "Oh, Tyler dropped it off for you."
I'd ride that to work.
We'll get you a spotted one.
I'd ride it to work.
I know you would.
I wonder what they would say.
You'd probably make.
You can't.
They'd probably
want
want
like, this is my service animal.
You got to tell them, be like, I need a secret filing cabinet to lock him in. like I need a special spot for me and my horse.
Me and my horse.
Right.
Yeah.
You couldn't leave him outside. Somebody probably draw a swastika on it. So you don't want that.
Oh my God.
You don't know any energy savers are out this year. Okay. If you're not burning coal, you're an a-hole. All right.
Right. Apparently.
So fossil fuels are in, baby.
They're back in.
How come you never see
Gasolina.
Yeah. How come you never see anybody running around with like the periodic table tattooed on them? Like,
I don't know. I just saw a meme that said Littlefoot. You know who Littlefoot is?
From the dinosaur movie?
The dinosaur movie.
The little baby dinosaur. Yeah.
He's saving the world right now.
Oh my goodness.
He's a gasolina. Just tell your kids, hey, we're pumping Littlefoot into the tank today.
Oh. Listen, that's the way it should be. I like it when it burns, and I like it when it burns hot.
Listen, gasolina doesn't come from dinosaurs. It came from plants, bro. You know how many dinosaurs they would have had to been to make gasoline?
Cocoa plants?
If that's the case, why don't we stack up people and wait for them to decompose into gas? Because that's not how it works.
Because then you couldn't put a shish kebab skewer through them, of course.
You lost me there, but I'll go with it. All right.
Dahmer knows what I'm saying.
Oh,
anyways, Lord. So I'm just saying, like, it's going to be how about the what's the thing we see now, the electric unicycle, they call it.
Oh, the bomb?
That can't be comfortable.
The bomb?
How comfortable do you think that is?
Well, thank God it has a gyroscope, because if it prevents you from falling over, because it's like your legs are tied to it, right?
So
there's no quick disconnect.
So hold on, that is a good one too.
So if you hit a jump and you realize you effed up, right? There's no way for you to disconnect from that thing. You're gonna ride that 1,200-pound one wheel to the ground.
So it's funny you mentioned that. Some of them are connected and some of them aren't. I saw it, and it's funny you mentioned the connected ones. I just saw the first guy that was connected. He had a fucking hip harness tied to it. Did you see that guy?
No.
He had a hip, looked like a rigger's belt that you would rappel with.
Right.
And it was fucking carabinered to a rubber band on the front and on the back and on the sides. And I was thinking just what you just said. I'm like, homie, what happens when that thing malfunctions and shoots you into traffic?
Well, listen, we all know what happened to the guy who invented the Segway.
Oh, he died on one.
Yeah.
Didn't it roll him off a cliff or
It
something?
shot him off. He tried to make an all-terrain one, and it shot him off a cliff in England. Like the White Dover Cliffs.
Bro, imagine dying on England from a scooter. That's embarrassing.
From your own invention.
That's embarrassing.
Right?
Oh, from your own, yeah.
From your own invention.
Successful
invention. I mean, how come we don't
That's
see
like-
Segways anymore? Is that
Right.
not a thing anymore?
Well, Paul Blart fucked that up for us, his fat ass. So anyways,
And we all know what happens to lithium batteries. If you break down the barrier between the two sides of the battery, it turns into a bomb.
Pop, pop, pop.
Right. So, when people are doing stunt
Concrete
driving
melter.
and jumping them off of jumps, aren't they ever worried
Oh.
that thing's going to explode when they hit the ground?
Oh, dude, there's so many people doing it right now. Like doing the jump stuff with the unicycles. Is that what they're called?
I don't know. They call them one wheels. I
One
think.
wheels?
Or is that like
No, the
the
one wheel's the
surfboard-
board one.
The
Yeah,
surfboard
yeah.
with the wheel on
Yeah,
it.
the unicycle electric things. I don't know what the famous or the funky cool name for that is today. We just call them unicycles.
Death machine.
With a battery. You got a unicycle with a battery.
Death machine.
There's a guy that rides it around here, dude, and I'm not big on angles, but like his face is like this.
Oh, he's at
So,
like
like-
a 40-degree angle
Yeah,
to the
yeah, yeah.
ground.
So his face is like fucking ahead of it, right?
Right. For
And
sure.
I'm like, homie, if you hit a pebble, I'm not a scientist. but
Gyroscope
you're-
keeps you from falling
Yeah, okay. Until you hit that pebble.
until it malfunctions.
And then you're 50% already face first into the concrete.
Yeah,
That's my question.
right.
And they don't wear helmets on these things. Well, they wear
Some of them
regular
do.
helmets. They don't wear face helmets though.
No, they don't wear face
I've
plates.
seen a couple with motorcycle helmets on, but not many.
Not many, because
I would.
they're trying to be cool.
I don't want my face knocked out. What's it say it's called? Electric unicycle. That's it, huh?
Yeah, I guess.
Look, they got tips on there. Here's my question. Let's go back to the robot. So they were like, let's make a rideable robot. Didn't we call that a car?
Right.
Like,
Why
and
do I want a fake robot horse?
right. That guy changes oil, let him pee. Like,
Well,
like seriously, like, what are we doing here? You have motorcycles already. Well, what does, as a man who was in the circus,
No.
traveled the world
hold on,
like
hold on,
you.
Hold on. Listen. Think about this, right? You go to Yellowstone National Park, right?
Okay.
Massive park.
okay,
You can get on a horse
okay,
and ride for days and days and days and days, all the way out to the middle of nowhere.
unless you're Joe Skelly.
Because the only recharge on the battery it needs is some water and some grass
Some rest, yep.
and some rest. You get on that stupid robot dog horse thing, you get about 35 miles out, and that battery dies on you. Fuck you gonna do?
We haven't even got to that point yet,
Right,
man. We
right,
haven't even got that point. Like, well, I'm just saying, what advantage does it give to you over a horse, over a car, over a they'll probably be like, well, it can get places you can't.
Well,
Can it really, though?
I don't know. It
With
was showing
four
like it
legs?
trying to climb up a mountain. I'm not getting on the back of a robot climbing a mountain.
No, there's no point.
I don't trust it.
I could just walk.
Right.
There's literally...
I would rather be harnessed in.
I've never...
Climb.
listen, in all the stories that we've read about Batman and Superman, there's never been one fucking story where even the movie soldiers in the movies were like, hey, we're at the base of this mountain. Now we need to scale it at high speeds with a robot dog. Like, right? Like, you just, there's some
Here's
things
what
you
I'm
can't do.
thinking.
It's like reholstering, bro. Reholstering, you cannot do fast. You cannot climb a mountain fast.
Right.
There's
Here's
no
what
way.
this is my thought. They're inventing this not for here.
No,
They're inventing this for Mars
or entertainment.
or entertainment. Look,
Mars, I believe.
Mars, right? Because you can't take a horse to Mars. It's not going to survive on the surface of the
All
planet.
right.
But your robot horse dog. But if that's the case, then why don't they take that super fancy moon buggy that they had in the 60s and drive that bitch around? Wouldn't that make more sense to drive a four-wheeled vehicle around? Or a two-wheeled, like, get
Anything,
a Kawasaki,
anything,
get a
anything.
KLR 650.
Yeah,
Take
exactly.
that bitch to Mars and fucking cruise around the surface on that shit.
Well, I think the problem is that the atmosphere is too rough for those.
So let's take a
for those
machine.
air filters.
Right, let's take a
Right.
machine.
That's more finicky. That doesn't have 20 years of getting slugged and mudded.
Right, that needs lubricant in all its joints.
Every joint.
Right.
Every joint.
Right.
Especially the rear one.
Right.
So, bro, you keep bringing up Mars. Let me ask you let's go into an emotional question.
Oh, Lord.
When they send the first 120, 300 people to Mars, are you going to be sad that you're not there?
No.
See, like right now, no, really.
No, I'm
so
not.
right now you can't be on Mars, but if they come down there like, hey, we got a colony of 3,000, are you going to be sad that you're not there?
How long has it been there?
Within our lifetime only.
No, I'm saying, how long's the colony been there?
Oh. Well, you pick a time. What if they do 10 years?
All right, it's 10 years and all the bugs are worked out?
Sure.
I'd like to go
Would you
visit.
be a little sad? You'd be like, I want to go?
I'd like to go visit.
Fuck.
But I don't know if I could do this 6 months in a fucking rocket ship.
Oh, no. No, I cannot.
Here's the other thing they haven't figured out yet. How to protect human beings from cosmic radiation on that 6-month trip, and how you don't just show up with cancer once you get there.
Well, most of those people, I think, know they're not coming back. So,
well, they already said the first ones. They already told them it's one white ticket.
Well, I mean,
but I told you how they're overcoming that. They got Daddy Elon's robots that they're fielding this year, the AI robots.
Okay.
They're selling them out to the public. Let them go out for 2 or 3 years and learn, right? Take all that information, throw it in the central database, put them suckers on a rocket ship, send them to Mars, and have them build the first structures.
All right. I want to say something messed up, and I don't want anybody to take it the wrong way.
Okay.
But you just made me think of something. I was thinking about my. Yes, actually, you did. You were making me think about that. But I was thinking about how you and I always talk about robots and the use out there. I'm a little bit more realistically excited to see, and I, again, knock on wood, I don't mean any victims, but I'm excited to see the first case trial against a robot versus man. Those movies have been made since we were little kids, right? Robot goes ham, kills somebody, and then they're like, we're going to put the robot on trial, right? What's going to happen when those little X robots are in your house, supposed to be doing your maid shit, and she pipes you over the head with a rolling pin?
Yep.
Are they going to try? Like, now you got me. Every time we talk about the dogs, I'm like, I was just thinking right now, like, what else could we do with these dogs besides send them to Mars? Because you're right. That's the only real logical. What the fuck do you need that for?
Right.
We don't need it. And it looked exactly the same as the DARPA dog.
Right.
Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Why is that going on?
Well,
we're waiting for our job, DARPA.
Well, you have to understand that all these other nations have already stolen the tech because the Chinese are already fielding them with their police forces, right? We've seen it. The police departments in the United States are now fielding that robot dog. Look, they're getting the best field testing, right? For other reasons, right?
I don't know.
Everybody wants to forget about the DARPA robot that eats dead human beings.
Flesh that lives off of. Listen, I'm not saying nothing for nothing. It was 1999. Orange County SWAT already had the robot you could drive, and they had mounted a shotgun to it. They had mounted the little hands so you could move stuff, right? They had the utmost tech.
Right.
My point is that was 26 years ago. So, like, what are these robots going to be capable of besides walking? Because all we see is the walking. They're like, oh, he took his first steps. Baby's good. Baby's big.
You haven't seen the new ones?
No, that's what I'm worried about.
The video footage of the new one doing backflips and dancing and all kinds of other stuff. Boston Dynamics testing that shits.
I mean, unless they're going to run in and do a backflip and start whooping our asses like they're Jackie Chan, I'm not super worried, but...
Put a rifle in its hand.
That's what I'm afraid of.
Yeah.
He goes into a room and does a backflip while it's firing.
Yeah.
Some, like, fucking Christian Bale fucking... what was that movie called where they did the gun kata? And he's running around swinging his arms in the fucking dark, bro, with 12 SWAT guys. Thinking in my head, like, yeah, of course that worked, bro. He laid down and shot you all in the face. What'd you expect?
Oh, it's so ridiculous.
All the people around him are like, we can't see him. We'll just shoot straight.
Right.
Like, okay. So, yeah, I mean, is that what we're coming towards here? We're waiting for... Listen, I don't want to say this because we're constantly saying shit that we're too busy to do. But I'm starting to think we should start reaching out to people. And I'm talking about the old members of people that we used to hang out, the people that never leave their computers. Because those people always know what's really going on in the computer world. I want to know what the fuck's happening in major cities with all these robots.
All right.
The dog robots, the running robots. Like,
there's
no way that this is just going to casually be like, here's this robot for this, here's this robot for that. I feel like they're going to be linked in
There's
one
bigger
way or another.
there's bigger plans.
Okay.
But I just realized something the other day
Uh-oh.
that totally creep showed me out.
Uh-oh.
So many you know what Bitcoin mining is, right?
Yeah, of course.
So they have computers that are dedicated
Of course.
to
You gotta
do
have a farm.
algorithms and computer solve problems
Runs
all
all
day.
day. Yep.
And all it does is create
Yes, sir.
Bitcoins, right? Or parts of Bitcoins.
We could do that with an easy investment of 10K, sir.
Listen, you know how long this has been going on? This started before Bitcoin. I just realized this the other day.
Uh-huh.
In 96, okay, there was this, you ever heard of SETI, Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence?
Yeah, that's the
Satellite dishes listening to radio transmissions from outer space.
And civilians are real big into like doing that.
So in 1995, if you had a computer, they would send you data, and your computer would run the data
process
for them
it.
and process
Yep.
it. That's the origins of Bitcoin mining.
All right, let's go on. This is going to sound horrible for me, but
right? Think about that, though.
Hold on, we got to go further.
They tricked all the populace to do
the work. To do the work.
for
Yeah,
them.
yeah, yeah.
It's the same thing.
Hold on, let's go over this because even though I'm the tech guy, this is where so I can build the whole Bitcoin farm. We've studied it. We got all the tech for it. We could, if we wanted to go buy 90 graphics cards and stick them up to a processor, we've joked about it a million times. My question is, what the fuck are those machines doing? Like, bro, you could say, well, he's farming. Motherfucker, I heard you say the word farming. But when I think of farming, you got to physically go get something and bring it back to me. What are you farming in Bitcoin? Because if BlackRock, it's not BlackRock, I'm sorry. What's the ledger for crypto called? Is BlackRock or no?
No.
Something. Whatever the data log is called, okay? You're farming. What are you pulling from that log?
I don't know.
Exactly.
I don't know. I don't know enough.
The fact that
you could be working for DARPA and don't even know it.
That you just came back.
They're alleging
with
that DARPA
data,
invented Bitcoin, and it wasn't Shakatomi or whatever that guy's name is.
It wouldn't even fucking matter. It wouldn't matter. Listen, we talked about this too. During our lifetime, when Bitcoin came out, people would ask me, like, hey, dog, did you get Bitcoin? I'm like, no, I don't need to buy drugs off the internet. There are fucking no reason do I need Bitcoin. Absolutely not. Every hacker back then, when Bitcoin came out, we knew what it was. There was even a point in time where I was like, you don't want to get caught with that, homie, because they're going to link you with God knows what else. You're trying to blockchain. Isn't that what that fucking thing is called? Blockchain. Yes. So you're mining blockchain for Bitcoin fragments that eventually comes off. Why do you need 90 fucking processors to do it? For real. I've never understood it. It makes it. And then I get motherfuckers, listen, and I'm a tech guy. I go ask people that think they're tech guys. Well, that's what you have to do, bro. Listen, motherfucker, that ain't what I have to do. You didn't explain nothing. You just said I should jump through the hoop of fire because somebody else told you there might be a gold coin on the other end. That makes no sense, bro. What are you mining?
Nobody knows. They tell you mathematical equations.
So hold on.
Algorithms. What?
Right. In their setup of language, hypothetically, you're basically saying that I could join the computer mining race as if I'm a fucking gold rush miner and I'm pulling metadata out of the internet that's turning into money for me.
So,
man.
Think about what I just thought about this. What if, hypothetically, you're working on some black program for the government, mining, right?
Right.
Getting all your processors to handle all this data, this incredible sums of data, right? And the mining the Bitcoin, getting the fragments of Bitcoin is your payment from the government.
And you're not really mining anything. You're just doing the data collection. That would make sense.
That's
what made me think of that when you just said it.
You're processing their data, and they're paying you in Bitcoin.
Pennies on the fucking hour. Holy shit. That's what made me think of it when you just brought up that stuff, because I totally forgot about that until you brought it up. I'm not into that, but I've heard of the program. Everybody knows that back in whenever NASA was big and popular, everyone would suck their dick. There were kids at home that would sit all day and watch those things. They made a whole fucking movie about it, too. It's got the really hot chick on top of the car next to the satellite dishes, the white ones, remember?
Yes.
Signal, something like that. I think it was old girl from, Clarice, Silence of the Lambs. Yeah, right. It's the only reason I watched it.
No, that's the
other one?
Yeah, it's the other one where she goes through the wormhole.
All the same.
Yeah.
I don't remember that one. But either way, they have movies about that. Of you sitting there doing that data for those motherfuckers. Let me tell you.
They tricked you all.
Yeah.
They tricked you all into processing their alien data so they can reverse engineer spaceships from, the Quasentari sector of the galaxy.
And I'm not trying to be mean, homie.
And they're paying you in Bitcoin.
Right. This is where like we feel bad for getting tricked into doing push-ups and running for people. Like, I'm like, dog, you tricked some of our homies into sitting in their fucking room. They never got laid. They never went out the house. I mean, you got my man's fucked up over here jerking off the T1000 all day, bro. He never.
I got a half of a Bitcoin. Of a Bitcoin.
The fuck out of here, bro. Listen, did I tell you about my homie that did a Bitcoin job?
No.
So, oh God, this is terrifying.
Maybe you shouldn't tell this story.
I know. These guys were from Arizona. I haven't lived there in 15 years, so I don't know where they are. Just so we're very clear, Connor. This guy came. This
Brian,
guy,
no
this
warrants.
Guy came down. No knock. So this homie came down. These are guys that I know that I like sit with. So he's a super smart programmer. Both of these guys are.
Mm-hmm.
So we were chilling around one time, hanging out, and the dude's like, "Hey man, tell him about the job you did." And I was like, "Uh-oh, this can't be good."
Uh-oh.
And he goes, "Yeah, man, we were hanging out, in certain sites you're not supposed to be on, whatever. He goes, and I got offered a job. He goes, and the guy came down and said, I need code run for a specific piece of this algorithm. Normal hacker stuff. The guy's like, that's fine. He goes, I'll do the job for you. Guy's like, perfect. He's like, I've got a whole team. It's fine. You're going to do this one little piece, blah, blah, blah.
Compartmentalization.
Uh-huh. You know it is. You know what it is, baby. Got to divide that weapon up as you develop it. So he does the work. They paid him in like $40,000 in fucking Bitcoin. Put it in the wallet, everything. The money is sitting there. He sent the fucking code out, and he said that code looked like a partial to a piece that a year later would cause big disruption. And he was like, bro, I got so scared. He goes, I never touched the wallet.
Yeah.
Look at this. I got goosebumps, bro, because I'm freaked out. So he got so gassed up, he never touched the wallet, right? And he goes,
it's a trap.
He goes, I didn't touch the wallet. Look at these goosebumps, bro. I don't even want to tell the story. So he didn't touch the wallet. He goes, and following months after, so he lived in this area where he had a driveway that goes a ways. He's in the woods somewhere, like off on his own. Not completely in the woods, but like suburb type areas. So they've only got a couple of poles around. One that he can clearly see from the house on one side, and one at the end of the road up near the street or whatever that was driving through. He said a fucking black SUV started chilling out there at night. He said randomly at night people would show up. They'd be sitting in this SUV, and they'd be doing nothing, and they'd sit there for hours under this pole, and then they would disappear. He goes, and this shit started happening. And then eventually he goes, I started taking pictures of it. He goes, I took a picture of this SUV. And then he goes, one time I started going towards the SUV. He goes, and that motherfucker pulled right off. And he goes, after that happened, he goes, I definitely never fucking touched that wallet. So my man's got 40K in Bitcoin just sitting, and he refuses to touch it.
Oh, and it's probably worth way more now.
That's a good. I never thought about that. When I heard this story, it was so long ago.
Considering one Bitcoin is like 85K right now.
So you know that too. I think we've talked about this, but you know that they don't add Bitcoin, right?
Right. It's limited.
So every Bitcoin grows every time you buy into it. So every time, if the three of us put
as it becomes scarcer, the value increases.
It doesn't become scarcer. It's a balloon, bro.
No, Bitcoin, there's only a limited amount of Bitcoin.
Right. So it's not scarcer.
No.
It's every time you put money in, Bitcoin becomes $1 million more dollars.
Listen, no, that's not how this works. There's a million Bitcoin.
Right.
You buy 500,000 of them. I buy 500,000. The million are gone. You have half, I have half. Right?
Right.
Okay. Then I decide to sell some. They never make any more Bitcoin. It's gone. Once it's off the table, it's off the table.
Right, but every time new people invest, because new people buy Bitcoin every day, the reason is because Bitcoin is not a physical coin, it's a mutual fund. So every time, so today, let's say two people out there owned all of Bitcoin, 50-50, and there's only 10 Bitcoins. And you walked in and you were like, hey man, I want to put 100 million into Bitcoin. Those 10 Bitcoin now get divided by 100 million and each Bitcoin goes up in value. That's why you can't buy a full Bitcoin anymore, bro. When we were kids, that's why you hear stories.
You could buy Bitcoin for 60 cents.
Right. A full Bitcoin.
Right.
If you go to buy Bitcoin right now, you're only going to get a partial for whatever you put. So if you want to put in $60 in Bitcoin, you can, but that's where they're hedging the fund off of you. So now we're back. Bitcoin has become the newest mutual fund of the world now. Bitcoin is just another NASDAQ. They're tricking you into putting more money in to something that's imaginary that you're never going to have a bigger piece on because my man who owns it, it's like NFTs. If they would have only made 500 NFTs and kept them that way, the NFTs would be the same as Bitcoin. It's fake blockchain monopoly money. That's all it is. And it's what we said before earlier. Okay, now if you take it this way, if you woke up today and all of a sudden all the power was gone, regular natural power, if you could not get on the internet today, that fucking Bitcoin would be useless.
Agreed.
1,000%. You're better off having toilet paper.
Agreed.
It's your imaginary ass money. Or, I hate to say this, all those fucking nerds collecting silver and hoarding all that shit, they'll at least have a
buy gold.
At least what is it right now? $2,000 a gram or some shit?
No, it's like
it's crazy as fuck. Look that up there.
$285 for 2.5 grams.
That's fucking ludicrous, bro. That's 1979 cocaine prices, bro. Not to be mistaken with 1981 because they immediately flooded the 80s with coke, but that is
how much is gold in a gram? $103 a gram.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's fucking psychotic.
Yeah.
And now they're selling little nymph clams. Now, if we're gonna go into the conspiracy thing even more, how come I can buy gold-plated mice, but we got to pay $10,000 for $80, but we got to pay?
What do you mean gold-plated mice?
Like you can buy a mouse with a gold-plated USB adapter that comes with gold on it.
Oh, you're talking about
yeah.
computer mouse.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
All right.
My bad. Yeah. Or cell phones. We go to the cell phone one, right? Like we've talked about that. How much silver is in a cell phone? How much gold is in a cell phone?
Well, I've watched all the videos on reclaiming e-waste and how much gold and so it takes a ton of resources to reclaim e-waste.
Yeah.
To make it remotely worth your time and effort.
So is it so little bit that it's not worth value? Because a gram is a gram.
No, I'm saying the e-waste has so little in each piece of e-waste.
So it's not a lot.
Metric tons of e-waste.
Well, you're not going to be melting down those fucking batteries, so good luck with that.
Yeah,
if that's your job, you enjoy that. We're going to stay away from that sloth shit. I don't need none of that. But no, it just makes no sense, bro. It makes absolutely no sense.
What doesn't?
Any of it. Society, ghosts, uniforms, UFOs, they got us tricked for everything.
Listen, you're doing the devil's bidding if you mine Bitcoin.
You know they were. I'm blown away. They're like, hey, did you buy Bitcoin? No, I don't need no hair on today. Like, hey, did you buy any Bitcoin? You're a stupid investor if you didn't. Well,
I wasn't looking for Claymore mines.
Right. Yeah, what the fuck, dude? When we were when we were to rob banks, they didn't say we were smart for investing into that.
$50,000 getting hard drives to mine Bitcoin.
Oh my God.
Now,
makes no sense, bro.
But listen, wait till these quantum computers come online.
Oh God.
They're starting to. The hardest part with the quantum computing is how to keep them cool enough for them to keep running.
What they need to do is just ask AI, be like, AI, how come the US government won't let you put out that cancer cure they got?
Oh, don't.
Oops.
Yeah.
Sorry, Connor.
Stop saying those things out loud.
That's the real question.
Oh, God.
You heard about those new young kids from that fucking college who are like, oh, we cured cancer again. Oh, was it Korea? Like a bunch of kids from a college, bro. They're like, we got these cells to turn back.
Right. Yeah. You know how they did it? Electricity.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I don't doubt it.
So what they said, remember how I told you everything has its own electromagnetic field?
Yep, 1,000%.
So all the cells, certain types of cells have their own electromagnetic field. And what happens is one of these cells somehow gets knocked out of the field, right? And it loses its way, if you will, because
Makes
it's
sense.
not connected to the system anymore. And it starts massive
That's
reproduction.
what cancer is, right?
That's what cancer is.
Right. Okay. That makes
So
sense.
they figure out what kind of cell it came from. They give it the right electricity to get it polarized back to that magnetic field, and they turns them back into the cells that they used to be. Yep. There you go. And we also watched the videos, remember, of the guys destroying cancer cells with ultrasound, different frequencies. Remember we were watching that shit?
I believe it. I believe it. Basically, at this point, what we're saying is if you turn the weekend up high enough, you'll cure cancer. Because he got some crazy bass noises going on.
Listen, get that Marshall stack in.
Yeah, hit you with all the frequencies, bro. I'll be out there all day playing chords and shit. Give me an E minor. I feel a little better. Hit it again. Like, oh, fuck.
Staying right in front of that stack.
Listen, that's why punks are living so long, because y'all got the right frequencies. Have you seen Avril Lavigne, bro? She's on the age of the day.
Right.
We're good to go.
Did you get that meme I sent you?
Gwen
about
Stefani?
how Avril Lavigne invented skateboarding?
Oh, my God. She did, bro. She did. I love that Avril Lavigne stole that look right off another artist. I wish we could remember what artist that is, but there is a famous artist who's like, oh yeah, Avril stole my look right off my album cover and just walked out with it. Listen, bro, it was a wife beater, some goth Kmart bracelets, and a tie. It wasn't that inventive. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You look like you just got fucked on and left like the 7th grade dance.
Right.
Which I get it. You know, at the time she was 16, it made sense. You know, but still. What really you got to ask yourself, you know, as that other artist is like, dog, what were you doing with that look? That's the real question, my man. What were you doing?
Indeed.
That 16-year-old girl was able to steal your fashion and make it prime time.
Yeah.
Dude, bro, you would not believe.
What's
this one?
That's the one I was telling you about.
Weird how skate punk culture is male-dominated considering the skateboarding was invented by a woman, Avril Lavigne, in 2002. That is perfect. That's a fucking sticker. You better send that to me. Copyright, blah, 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 trademark, Baes Boyz podcast. Go fuck yourselves. You can't have our shit. I don't care who we stole it from.
Right.
Dude, how we went through this whole episode and didn't actually cover what I intended to cover again.
Let's start talking about it.
No, we're too late now.
Or we could
We're
talk,
in-
we
we're
could
in
talk
the
about the
groove.
documentary I just watched.
We're in the groove of fucked upness. We should just keep going.
All right, fine.
Go ahead, take them into that.
Well,
fucked
so
up-
yeah, I just watched that
Is it
crazy.
another killer one?
No, it's not. It's not one about
God.
the serial killers. This one was
God.
about an airplane crash in Colombia that happened in 2023.
Oh yeah.
It
This
was
is
a
good one.
small Cessna, and it had 3 adults and 4 kids, and the 4 kids were like 13, 8, 7, or 6, and 11 months old.
Go ahead.
And the plane crashes. All the adults die. The 4 kids survive the plane crash.
Did mom die?
Mom died in the plane
Oh,
crash.
Shit.
And the 4 kids ended up surviving in the jungle, in the deepest, darkest jungles of Colombia for 40 days by themselves. 40 days. And they sent in...
Everybody.
Well, the Colombian government sent in special forces to find them. And the danger for them is that region of the jungle at one point in time was controlled by a radical, some would consider a radical terrorist organization.
Government calls them radical.
Yeah, some people would not. It depends on what side of the fence you stand on.
That's right.
In that region of the world, right?
Right.
So for them, it was dangerous to be out there because it could trigger. They'd had like a peace agreement drawn up with this organization for many years, but them being present in that part of the jungle could have caused turmoil or could
Issues.
could have caused a war to start. But they were out there looking for the kids. Then the indigenous people of the region showed up to help find them. And the indigenous people kept saying the duende were preventing them from finding the kids. And the duende are like the natural spirits or the gods or the protectors of the region. They said they were angry and they were hiding the kids from them. That's why they couldn't find them. And it wasn't until the 40th day that they were searching that they found the kids out in the jungle. And what they ended up, military pulled out after like 30 days, said, hey, we've been out here for a month. Maybe it was maybe 36 days. They said 35, 32 days, and they pulled out. And like a handful of the indigenous people stayed. And what they ended up doing was they ended up doing some of their traditional ceremonies
Oh,
And they
yeah,
ended-
yeah.
And they ended up doing ayahuasca
Perfect.
to take a spirit trip to ask the jungle where these kids were.
Always good.
And they had the stepfather do it first, and the stepfather said, I couldn't find them. And they looked at him and said, the jungle's angry at you. It doesn't want you here. Get out of here. And they made him leave the jungle, right? And then the leader of the group did it the next day, and he said, we'll find them today at 3 p.m. We got to head northwest or, southeast or whatever it was, and we'll find them. And literally that day, the next day, 3 p.m., and the direction he told them to go is exactly where they found those kids.
Jesus.
And that next morning after he did his trip, they were like, the jungle's calm. It's not angry anymore. The duende are happy. You can feel it in the jungle, right? And they attributed to the fact that the stepfather was gone, which they later found out he was abusing the children, like beating them and shit.
Amazing.
So once the bad negative force who had been there the whole time was gone, the jungle gave up the children, is what they were saying.
That's wild.
Yeah. But they found him on the 40th day, like 10 clicks away from where the crash was.
Listen, the fact that they found those people and that they hadn't created some weird whatever and weren't losing their minds and blah, blah, blah.
The fact that they found 4 children and one of them to be an 11-month-old.
Yeah, I was just going to say the young one too is like, because you watch these TV shows they have for entertainment where people get
survive
lost.
in the wild on your own,
Yeah,
to win $1 million.
I can't do it. Oh, I can't do it. Or the entertainment ones, they came out with that Bumblebee show, I don't know what it's fucking called, who cares? But it's about those kids, those girls who get lost because of plane crash and they end up fucking creating all kinds of weird shit and trying to kill each other. And I'm like, homie, how do you have time? Is really the question. Because you've got all these stories that are like, well, we were trapped on this island and it became crazy. He started getting nutso. Yeah, he started getting nutso because there's a camera there and he wants to be whatever. If you were worried about trying to live, you wouldn't have this problem. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it's 4 little kids, bro. The 4 little kids do it, but this bitch over here from Beverly Hills can't do it.
No, it was.
She's like, oh, you took away my brooks. I can't climb this ladder.
There's survival specialists on those game shows, right?
Yeah,
they drop them off on the middle of nowhere and they say whoever you just keep going till you can't go anymore, right?
Fucking Bear Grylls.
They don't even give them a time frame. They're like, you just keep going, right? And it's the last man standing. Whoever doesn't tap out wins, right?
Right.
Some are there like 2 days and they're like, fuck this, I'm out. Some make like 30 days. Some make like 45 days and they're like, fuck this, I'm out. These kids survived in a rainforest.
With an 11-month-old.
With an 11-month-old.
Which is just a microwavable snack for a cougar.
A puma.
I mean, whatever,
a leopard.
Dude. A monkey.
Jaguar.
Yep.
Right. Every creature on Earth centipedes, snakes, ants,
snakes.
fire ants, you name it, they can kill you, is in this place. And they somehow survived for 40 days. Like, you want to talk about
and they didn't have to eat each other.
And they didn't
have to eat each other.
They didn't eat each other.
Oh, wait. They didn't eat their mom, did they?
No.
That's good.
No. They left all the adults.
That's good.
Like I said, they found them literally like 10 clicks away from the crash. That's a long way.
So they'd been walking for a minute.
Right. See, they were doing concentric circles in the search, like 1 click out, 2 clicks out, 3 clicks out.
Just making the envelope bigger.
And they just couldn't find them, right? And they had helicopters flying over, playing messages on loudspeakers like, don't move, stay where you're at so we can come find you.
Yep.
And they talked to the kids. They're like, we'd hear them, but by the time we were trying to listen to them, they'd already faded away and we couldn't hear what they were saying.
That's wild.
Yeah, they said they survived on eating jungle fruits. And the 13-year-old said that at one point in time she made a fishing pole and caught fish. But because it was raining and wet the whole time, that they had no way to make a fire. So they ate the fish raw, right?
Ugh. Never heard of a Bic lighter guy?
Dude, they probably didn't even have,
Right, they don't even have Bic lighters.
No, they found them like barefoot.
Yeah.
Ugh.
That's fucking horrible.
You don't want to be barefoot in the jungle.
I don't want to be barefoot almost anywhere, to be honest.
Not even in your own house.
Right. I'm like, oh, what the fuck, man?
So, I mean, it's an incredible documentary. It was absolutely worth the watch. What was the name of that thing again? The Lost Children. Yeah, The Lost Children. It was a good watch about survival. And you think, and the whole time they're like, there's no way these kids can make it. There's no way. And the indigenous were like, it's the duende.
Listen, you want to know how it was like a jungle South American style thing?
Because it took place in Colombia?
No. You could have, just from the trailer, you could tell because my man showed up with his beret and his makeup on for the camera crew.
Oh, no, well.
They knew, bro.
All the special forces guys.
Yeah, they all had makeup on.
Yeah, they all had camouflage paint on.
I was like,
That's
oh
to
my.
hide their identities.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
I don't know if you're serious.
I'm dead serious.
Oh, you're dead serious.
I'm dead serious.
They think that paint's helping?
Well, yeah, you can't really, if they're not wearing name tapes and they're wearing camouflage paint, it's not,
It's better than nothing?
it's better than nothing.
Oh, this is a better than nothing scenario.
Right, so you don't want to be recognized by the group you consider to be a terrorist organization.
Oh, shit. I just get on the Photoshop and dye that paint off. But yeah, I guess those indigenous tribes don't really have a lot of Photoshop going on, do they?
Apparently, probably not.
I thought it was the equivalent of their blurry eyes, bro. I'm like, what are you guys doing right now? And then I was
No.
like, maybe they're just proud.
Well, they're proud of it too, but when they're on camera,
Yeah.
that's primarily to
Oh, shit.
cover their identity.
Just going to start covering
Because
my face with
you
it.
notice the commanding officer didn't do that
Right.
because he's the general.
He didn't care.
He didn't care. Right?
He's like, y'all know me.
I've got enough.
I got a real email account.
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
got
gotta
enough.
worry.
I've got enough protection around
Yeah.
me.
I don't got to worry. I send them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's interesting. All right, one more eerie thing, and then we're going to get out of here. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
What's this fucking thing called? Is it called something, this Florida thing? Is it called an actual thing or no? All right. So Shaggy came home with this idea that apparently somebody told him to do. Says you're...
Stop.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Somebody told you to do something. Just stop.
Yeah. No, we had to do it, though. So you type in Florida. It has to be this way. Florida, then man or woman, and then a birthday.
Florida man
Or woman, then a birthday. Whoever the birthday you're doing, do the...
Any birthday.
No, it's got to be like somebody you're searching, and I'll tell you how. So we did his.
So do you type the words Florida man or woman?
No, Florida, and then if you're like if I want to do yours, you're a man, so it'd be Florida man, and then your birthday.
Okay.
Okay, just the month and the day. That's all that matters.
How do you type that in?
We just did it in Google.
No, in what format do you type in the birthday?
4
4 numbers straight, or is there 2 numbers dash 2 numbers?
Name of month and date.
Yeah.
So the name of the month and the
yeah,
date.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Florida man month. Type the name of the month and then the actual date.
Yep,
The numbers
yep.
for the
I
date.
was doing the numbers. I just did 4/25.
Okay.
Something like that. So we thought it was funny. He thought it was coincidentally funny because when Shaggy was young, I got to tell this story. He got allegedly in trouble for smearing poop on the wall at school.
That's not what happened.
Well, I'm telling the story from the parent side. So you interrupted me here. So we get reports from some sort of teacher that he's doing this thing and he's the prime suspect. Later on, it comes down the line. He tells the teacher, it wasn't me. I was trying to Dick Tracy it. I'm trying to catch this poop bandit, as they named him. Literally, this kid was so famous during the school year, he was called the Poop Bandit or some shit, right? Either way, doesn't matter. I don't care. We go and Google this Florida man thing with Shaggy's birth date, and something comes up called the Poop Bandit.
Get out of here.
No joke. Oh, it gets better. I'm thinking in my head like, bro, that's 1 in a million. It's
The
1 in a
connection.
The connection. So I'm like, let's do mine. So we did mine. The story comes up. Man stabs his brother in the neck or whatever because his brother wouldn't shut the fuck up while they were cooking dinner. I was like, okay, let's do the next one. There can't be possibly a third connection to something like this, with the whole night, whatever. Let's do the next one. So we did his sister. She's a weirdo, like in general, right? She's one of those oddball, I take everything everywhere people. Story for hers comes up. Person on the street pulls alligator out of their pocket and attacks another person. And I was like, yep. I could kind of see that. Like, that's freaky as fuck that these stories are so...
Yeah, but I mean, okay.
How's
that's a lot, but that's a lot. Listen.
Oh, it gets better.
No,
It
I'm
gets
calling
better.
bullshit. I'm calling bullshit. This is like when you ask leading questions to people like you're a magician.
Yeah, but how's it going off a birthday? How are you getting a case file that's related to your weird personality?
But that doesn't mean it's that person.
No, it's not supposed to be. What we found it to be fucking uncanny was that the
story
story was
that would
related
come
to the
up.
human that we were birth dating. Because you know my favorite thing is a knife. And they were like, oh, dude stabbed his brother. Well, because he wouldn't shut the fuck up. I'm like, yeah, I've done that. Not to my brother. But so then Shaggy's was the poop bandit, right? So then we did his sister's, and she's carrying the weird animal around, which she does everywhere, bro. She's carrying animals around everywhere. It's really freaky. Then we did, who was it after?
Mega Beast.
We did the Mega
Real
Beast.
estate crimes.
Hers came up as real estate crimes. Was the
Yeah,
case.
I think you're
Then
reading
we
into
did
this.
Then we did Meeper. Hers came up as factory embezzlement, which she works in a factory, which I was blown away. This was the craziest one. We did the last one, and I was like, I'm getting off the internet. We did Joe Skelly. Joe Skelly's was that this dude did an operation where he went into a place, stole an alligator, then went to another house to a person who had pissed him off and hooked the alligator on top of his roof to fuck with him. My man, that's 5 for 5, my big dog. I don't
wouldn't
care what.
do anything like that.
Did you hear all that silence? That was because there's nobody in this room or in the audience that believes that wouldn't happen. So with that, we're going to bid you adieu. Go look up Florida and then male or female based on who you're doing and their birthday, just the month of the day, and see what crime is on your Florida birthday. Because I promise it will be related to you.
All right. We'll say that again. Go on the Google Maker.
Go into Google.
Type in Florida.
Type in Florida, male, M or F, male or female, for whoever you're doing their birthday for.
So if you're looking up a female, type in female, and then
Yep.
type in their birthday, month, and date.
Month and date.
And look at the
And
story.
see what the story comes up and if it correlates to the person you're looking up.
Okay.
Joe Skelly and I and Shaggy are going to go do another one for somebody that maybe Joe Skelly knows, and we're going to see if we can hit a fucking shot in the dark right now.
Okay.
That's what we're about to do. 97 seconds of everything you don't want.
Baes Boyz.